Hey, this is Ryan of Happy Healthy Vegan. So I remember it was around a month or so ago, maybe a little less than that, you guys were telling me here on my live streams that, hey, did you hear that Jon Venus, he's back to being vegan again, at least eating vegan. And I'm going, are you serious? The guy that not that long ago was saying how he needed to leave veganism for reasons that made absolutely no sense to me, as I discussed in my prior videos, and how he's looking forward to being a hunter. How can someone that went through all that all of a sudden say, hey guys, my bad, I'm vegan? But he apparently kept sticking with it, you guys are telling me. So I'm going, all right, I'm going to check it out now. Now that more time has passed, seems to be real. And if so, this is a unique story because, you know, all these other people that I've made videos responding to their "Why I'm No Longer Vegan" videos, they stayed not vegan. In fact, many of them went anti-vegan. So Jon's story is unique. So I want to really see what's the truth. What really happened with Jon Venus?
First of all, starting by apologizing and sincerely saying that I'm sorry. The way that I've behaved on YouTube and the things that I've said and the things that I've shown have been really insensitive, and I really don't feel good about it. There is no excuse for it. There is no, there's no pointing fingers at anyone. It's all my fault, and I take full responsibility. I understand how what I did created confusion, created skepticism, negativity, hatred, and I am not proud of that. I don't like that at all.
All right, I gotta say, someone please correct me if I'm wrong here, but this is the first person that I ever remember who made a "Why I'm No Longer Vegan" video and made nonsense BS videos saying how horrible the vegan diet is. Jon's the first person that's actually apologized, and he seems really sincere here about making such nonsense videos. So kudos to Jon for that.
I really thought that I was a person who didn't, act out of fear much at all, right? But this was definitely a decision out of fear because I'm fearful, like I think many parents are, for the health and the well-being of their children. And everything that I did was because I was scared that I wasn't providing, enough, bioavailable nutrients to my kid on a plant-based diet, even though there were no signs of, detrimental effects or anything like that. Fear is powerful.
I remember Jon in his prior videos about why he's no longer vegan discussed this very issue, and it made no sense to me back then, and still it makes no sense to me right now. If Jon had some concerns, as he says, about if his child should be vegan, is it nutritionally adequate? And it's been shown to be so. Check out the official position of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics if you haven't seen that already, Jon. But still, I don't understand. If you're wondering if your child should be vegan or not, how does that relate to what you're doing? That just doesn't make any sense to me. You can still be a parent, and I know parents who are hardcore vegans, vegan activists even, and they have children who are not vegans, husbands or other family members who aren't vegan. It has no effect upon them being vegan. That reason when you gave it, Jon, didn't make any sense to me then. It still doesn't make any sense to me now.
And it was amplified by my personal experiences watching people that I know, deteriorating in health, and they were plant-based, right? They were vegan, so that definitely played a huge role in the whole fear.
So I really wonder here who Jon might be referring to, people who are deteriorating on plant-based diets, because I personally know hundreds and hundreds of vegans and people on plant-based diets, and for the life of me, I can't think of a single person who's fallen apart because of their vegan or plant-based diet. Sure, I've made a few response videos to people who quit being vegan, but in all cases I've shown they were following long-term some really extreme, limited, restrictive forms of eating, but that can happen on a vegan or non-vegan diet. But yeah, I got a little upset with these people because they were throwing veganism under the bus when the problems are really not about veganism.
The people who come with the criticism or the idea that a vegan cannot start eating meat again because if they're ethically vegan, then it's kind of hard to imagine that. And I understand, I never imagined that I would personally go back to eating animal products myself, right? But things happen, and your mind is definitely not as strong as you believe it to be. Trust me.
I'm not sure what Jon is saying there about your mind is not as strong as you think it is. Trust me. I mean, just because he had this moral lapse, if you will, of claiming to still have these moral principles of, not harming animals, yet finding it perfectly okay to start eating them because he wasn't sure if his kid should be vegan or not. Not sure what you're talking about there, John, but that's probably the main reason why a lot of people were upset with your videos.
So I can't do it. I went vegan for, you guys know the story. I went vegan after watching Earthlings, and that's always been my main mission, to spread compassion. Okay, I'm struggling saying the word, but okay, I'm plant-based for ethical reasons, or vegan. I can see this being cringy to a lot of people, and I understand, but let me tell you guys one thing. We are just doing the best that we can. We are not perfect in any shape or form.
Yes, John, I agree. None of us are perfect, but nowhere in the definition of veganism does it say that we are perfect beings. It says that we seek to avoid as much as practicable and possible all forms of cruelty and exploitation of animals for food, clothing, or any other purpose. So this is really what you need to stick to, John, if you want to take a little bit of advice from me here, is that you don't have to be a perfect person, but to intentionally decide to eat animals, to cause harm to animals when there's absolutely zero reason because you had some concerns about your child. Again, that's what got people upset at you. I have to say I'm really happy that I didn't jump in and make a video as soon as John made this video that I was just showing clips from there from a few weeks ago, because things have happened with John. He's revealed a little bit more, and I'm going to show you some clips here from a video he made a little bit after this one, where he shows about some of the struggle he was having when he was not vegan for that month or two. He knew what he was doing was wrong, and it caused him to have problems, as you'll see.
Because of the denial, because of the conflict, the turmoil, I wanted to silence that. And I know that, taking substances and these things is a wrong way to go. And I thought I overcame that many, many years ago. However, here I've found myself, sneaking off and, drinking on a daily basis to, numb this confusion and feeling in my mind. I went back to my, nicotine / caffeine / alcohol combo addiction that I didn't think I was ever going to experience again after so much, self-development and work I've done on myself.
I don't know about you guys, but I was actually really shocked to hear this from John. I'm glad he shared this. I assume it all to be true, that he felt so much inner turmoil, so much anxiety by leaving veganism, because if we take him at his word, yeah, he saw Earthlings, the movie, that's what made him go vegan, so he knew that eating animals was wrong. It is morally wrong. And that's why I always wondered, like, I've said this before when you see these videos from people who are no longer vegan. I think I said this about John too, like, how can you just flip a switch? How can you believe something to be morally wrong and then all of a sudden just flip a switch and, I'm totally cool with it now? It made absolutely no sense to me how people could be so flippant with their morality. So what John's experience reveals is that it's not so easy, unless you're a sociopath or a narcissist, to just turn on and off your morality, that there are true psychological consequences of living a life that's not in accord with your moral principles.
And accept that the fear is just something that I have to live with, and I have to accept and let go, and not be looking for certainty in places where certainty cannot be found. So that was the life lesson that I learned, was to let go of that fear and embrace uncertainty. And that was something that I think or thought I had figured out before 100%, because I love thinking and talking about these things, but I hadn't. And
so this great sense of fear, this kind of life-changing sort of fear that John had, is something he brought up time and time again in all these videos. And in his case, his fear, this uncertainty, was not knowing what's best for his child. And I only can imagine how huge of a deal this must be to have your first kid. I can see how it could really be a huge moment in your life, and you have all sorts of new fears, and that could lead you to make changes in your life. Because I can relate. I've had moments in my life, like, some midlife crises that have led me to try to make changes in my life, hopefully for the better. And sometimes you make some silly decisions. That's how I ended up at Woodstock Fruit Festival back in 2013. And that's a topic for a whole nother video. But in Jon's case here, his concerns about his child. Is he doing the right thing for his child? He wants his child to grow up to be healthy. And I can imagine how that was a big deal for him, this fear and the uncertainty, because that's what fear is often based upon, not knowing how things are going to turn out, uncertainty about the future. So anyway, what I'm saying is I can understand these big life moments that happen occasionally through our lives that lead us to change. And unfortunately, in Jon's case, what I think, and I'm not making any apologies for him, but I just think he made a really bad decision here. One, he seems to have true regret about. So I'm not going to make a video here trashing Jon. And I'm going to let you guys, in your own minds, all decide what to think about him, how you want to judge him. At least he seems honest about what he's doing here, and he's honest about the mistakes he's made. And like I said, I'll give him kudos for that, because no one's been brave enough to admit those things before. He is eating plant-based. I guess we can all agree about that, is what I'm saying. Is he a vegan, which is a moral, ethical principle? That is the part that's up to debate, and I'll let you guys decide that. So anyway, leave your questions and comments down below. Share your thoughts on that. I'm sure you're going to anyway, so yeah, just be cool down there. Don't get too hateful or anything like that. Just let us know what you think about Jon, and is he going to continue being plant-based or vegan or whatever you want to call it, not eating animal products? Let me know what your thoughts are down below, and is this for real? Hopefully I won't be regretting having made this video in a while, but he seems honest here, and I can relate to what he's going through to some degree. So anyway, but I would never quit being vegan. I'll just let you know that right now. You're never going to see me make a why I'm no longer vegan video, no matter what kind of weird fears I might have in my life or any crises or anything. That's it all for this time, guys. So remember, let's keep it carved. When does the pain fade away? Will it be tomorrow? Why not today?